Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, May 6th, and I'm just here with a really quick video, just some encouragement for parents. Over the past almost 2 months now, which is crazy, you have become homeschool teachers, you've become school nurses, you've become gym teachers, you've become custodians, you've become the principal, you've become the counselor, you've become everything, basically, and that is a ton of work. I can't even imagine what that might feel like. I know that's a lot of stress, especially for those of you who aren't able to work from home. That's a really hard situation. We've been praying for you every day, and we are really hoping that you're doing well with that. And I just wanted to encourage you that even in the midst of all these new responsibilities and roles and things you're expected to do, is to not forget the most important role for a Christian parent. And that is as the number one influence on the spiritual lives of your children. Just by way of math, I broke it down this way. There are 8,736 hours in a year. If your teenager or child or whoever it is in your family were to come to every single hour of programming that we have at the church each week, that's about 5 hours at church during a given week. So for the entire year, that adds up to 260 hours in church out of 8,736. That's a lot of time. And obviously, you're not going to be there for every single second of those 8,726 hours, but you're there for a lot of it. And the question is, how do we take that time and how do we make the most of it in terms of leading children towards a healthy and growing relationship with God? In Deuteronomy 11, we read, after God has given the law to Moses and the Israelites in the wilderness, he says this, he says, "Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the door frames and the houses on your gates." And obviously this is referring to the Old Testament law. This is not something that we literally have to do. We don't have to have phylacteries on our heads like a lot of people did back in those days. But the principle is still very much true. So does that mean you get a whole new role and now you got to be a pastor on top of all those things? No, not really. All you have to do is talk about God like you believe he's real. Like he's part of your life, like he's part of your daily going out and coming in, as Earl always says. We should always be telling the people that we care about, particularly in our family, what we know about God, what we've experienced about God, our relationship with him. And that doesn't mean we have to have like a whole class on this is how I've experienced God today. But as the scripture says, as you go out and as you come in, just talk about it. As you're walking, as you're driving, just mention, what have you seen God doing in your life lately? What have you learned about God recently? Where do you see him acting and moving currently in the world around us? So that's my challenge for you today. Maybe tonight at dinner, while you're all sitting around the table, just mention, like, have you learned anything cool about God recently? Or maybe you share something that you've read in your own personal quiet time or your devotionals, something that you've learned. Because the whole point is that students' faith will reach the level that they've had modeled for them. So if we're going about our lives and we go to church but only on Sundays and it doesn't really show up in the rest of our lives, they're probably going to have a very similar faith. So that's my challenge for you today. Start a conversation over dinner. Doesn't have to be super deep, doesn't have to be like with Bible citations or anything like that. Just express your faith to your kids so that they can see what it looks like when an adult really has a growing and vibrant relationship with Jesus. I know it's a lot. I know you guys are under a lot of pressure right now, and we're praying for you every day, like we said. If there's any way that I can help or that I can provide resources or something for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to do that. I would really enjoy helping you guys out while you're in the middle of this crazy time. All of us here at the church really appreciate everything that you're doing for your kids, the sacrifices that you're making. So stay the course because it's going to pay off. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful kids already. You've done a great job. So keep up the good work. We love you. We're praying for you. Let us know if we can help in any way. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I hope we get to see each other again very soon.